I'll send you my link things. Setting it up. I'm trying to build the game. My computer is very sluggish when I do that. I'm testing another like Linux build with a bunch of made the graphics the lowest I could make them. Steam Deck. Steam Deck. You can so Steam Deck is like based on Linux, right? And you can give it a Windows build, and then it would run it through this like Proton translation layer or whatever. But it gets better performance if it's native, right? And since we're gonna be on Steam, we have the ability to provide a Linux executable if we want. So if somebody is on a device like the Steam Deck, then they would download that version
Yeah.
that's built specifically for it. And since this option is pretty straightforward, simple for us to do, I have no reason why not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just a quick test now. I was doing other stuff, but I was doing there's some spine craziness that I was trying to figure out in the past at night and today, but I finally figured it out. That was causing like units to stand around and they would just break or whatever. It seems way better now. It works good. It was also same thing with like the new version and the migration and all that stuff, and I reported it to them.
Okay.
And also I did the markers, the map markers.
The warning? Oh, like when combat starts?
Yeah. So
Oh,
we
okay.
had a partial implementation of it in place,
Yeah.
but so I just finished it basically.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Wait till you see this. This flash dev log is pretty fun to make.
Oh, is that?
I just gotta upload it real quick.
Oh, okay. Let me send you the link.
Oops, wrong one. Oh, there we go. Okay. Your video is now present. Oh, you're watching the video?
Is that like AI or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was very good.
No, I dressed Brenton up in a costume.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope. I think we did forget though to record one at the party.
Oh yeah, we did. We did
That's
forget
not
to record one. Yes.
Yeah, which is great. That means we were having fun.
That is, yeah, that's true. I like that on my alt account. I like the short, and then it's like, congratulations, you are the first like. I'm like, great, I'm the first like on my own video. That's nice. Alright, let me use that question like real quick. BRB. Back in 2 seconds. Back in a jiff. Good dog. Actually, I really gotta let him outside real quick too, so I will back in just a second. Come on, all right, we gotta be quick. We're streaming. Alright, it's game dev time. I'm kicking stuff on my ground. Okay. We're gonna make the greatest video game world that anyone has ever seen in the history of, I don't know, humanity. It's gonna be better than Earth. It's gonna be more intricate and complex than Earth itself.
Easy.
You know, let's keep our expectations a little realistic here. After all,
Exactly.
who am I to say that I could rival all of creation itself?
You can do it.
Except that's exactly what I'm going to do. The same. They'll all see. Okay. What is next?
You know, I have been thinking about the whole game number 2 in Unreal versus Unity thing.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, the more I feel weird about not making it an Unreal just so it's faster or whatever, because I feel weird passing up an opportunity to learn something new, if that makes sense. I feel like, well, how do we know if it's good or bad or better or any of that
Unreal?
unless we sit down? Yeah, and like actually try to extract the most out of it, struggle through it, rather than just sticking with Unity for game number 2. I feel like the first like 3 or 4 games should be very much made to explore and kind of learn as much as possible, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, keeping in mind, like, our pipelines are different. Like, whenever I talk with you about these things, I'm talking with you about it from the perspective of an artist. I'm less so concerned with an engine, because I'm not really worried about that, and I'm way more concerned with like software tools. Like, I'm far more intimidated by Blender than I will ever be of like Unity or Unreal. I'm far more intimidated by ZBrush than I will ever be by Unreal or Unity. Usually, I mean, these things are like the same principles. And so I'm not really scared of moving to a new engine. Now, you're asking me to go from 2D art to sculpting and rigging 3D characters. That's the thing that intimidates me, and that isn't going to change based on which engine. I mean, the art pipeline is going to be more or less the same thing. Sure, maybe Unreal and Unity, they want different formats, or they want to receive the art in slightly different ways or whatever. Or they have different file sizes, restrictions, or, you know, whatever, so on and so forth or whatever. But from being a painter to sculpting a 3D character and getting that to work with clothes and all this stuff, like, that's way more intimidating to me. So no matter what happens, like, it's the shift from 2D to 3D that scares me, not the shift from Unity to Unreal. That's less intimidating to me. Because I'm sure
yes. I mean, that's regardless. That's what we're planning to do. I mean, we're hybrid right now, right? So there's some 3D stuff, but I guess the 3D stuff are like static objects for the most part, right? It's just a building or a rock or whatever it is, and it's not gonna be that. It's gonna be very complex things coming up. So I understand from your point of view. I guess I never really thought about it from your point of view like that, but obviously, like, from
graphic, just to be clear, like, I don't know, whatever engine we decide to use, my number one concern is graphical fidelity. If we're going to be making a 3D game, is I want to push something as far as we possibly can, because, you know, the ultimate goal, being adventures and whatnot, is like, a pillar of the game's design is going to be immersion. Like, immersion is the most important thing to me to attain. You know, we can get some immersion in Conquest of Eldinar, but like, ultimately it's an RTS, it's a god mode camera. You're detached from what's going on in the environment. But when we make a first person game, I want to raise that immersion as high as you possibly can.
Yeah, I completely understand. I think it is going to be easier to extract like high fidelity out of Unreal, like way easier than it would be out of Unity. It's not like games that look really good don't exist in Unity. It is just by default games don't look that great versus in Unreal.
Yeah, it's
like
kind
the
of like
lighting and the environments
the
and all
factory
that
settings or whatever in Unreal are just really good.
Yeah, exactly.
I
It's like
understand.
it's like starting with a Ferrari or whatever. You know, you can probably make it a bit faster, but if you start with a Civic, you can make it pretty fast, but it's gonna take you a lot more.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I think regardless though, I think we should try it out. What I was thinking though is we should do and this doesn't have to be necessarily when we're completely done with COE. It could be something that we just take a small pause, but we should do like 1 or 2 bridge projects. When I say bridge projects, I'm talking like 2 to 3 weeks tops type projects, smaller stuff where we try to touch on as many things as possible to just as a way to start learning Unreal, if that makes sense. Something simple. I don't know.
You mean after COE?
It doesn't have to be after COE. No,
okay.
It could be like at any point. Honestly, like we could do this as like, oh, we decide let's take a pause for a couple weeks or whatever it is. Again, I don't think there'll ever be like a priority. It's going to be difficult to prioritize it, but you get the point. It's some like learning based project. That's something that will never release. It's just let's figure out how Unreal works.
Yes. My only thing with that would be I would want it to be relatively close to COE's end, because the thing for me is like if I learn something and then don't touch it again for years, it's gone. Like if you were to ask me right now, do I remember anything from programming back when I did that in 2020? No, it's gone. Like I did it and I learned it.
Interesting.
But it's gone. I don't remember a single thing.
A bit okay. For me, if it's okay, if I understand something, I'm not gonna forget it. It doesn't matter how long it takes. If I understand the way that Unreal handles things, I'll just remember it basically forever. I might forget which button I need to press or whatever, or what the name of the class that I need to reference here or whatever it is, but I'll remember at least the general outline, which is I think is the most important thing. Because my thing is like, I feel like before we and again this is like in future anyways, but before we go into pre-production of like game 2, we should be equipped with enough knowledge about the engine and about basically the whole process to be able to better estimate times. Just I feel like we should be in a better stance than where we're at right now. As far as like engine knowledge and all those kind of things, I don't feel equipped to tell you, oh, this is gonna take 6 months.
You know what I think would be a better thing to do than that would be just be like go make like a mod for a game that we know that uses Unreal Engine 5. So like Arc, like let's make a high quality Arc mod to the best of our ability. Let's decide we want to add something in that game that will familiarize ourselves with those tools, but do it in a pipeline that's, you know, more or less already established.
I see what you're saying. Okay, here's why I don't think that will be the best learning experience, because when you're making a mod, you're not just learning the engine, but you're gonna spend a lot of time learning their way of doing things, wildcard or whatever, how they set things up, how you're gonna be able to add on whatever they did, right? So Unreal, the learning of Unreal will exist, but you'll also like supplemented with a bunch of knowledge that you're really not going to use too much. But I think there's something powerful about just clicking new project and just having a blank slate, and you have to figure out how to make this blank slate into something that is interesting enough or whatever it is. I think the learnings from that is going to be much more. But yeah, I mean, it is it has to be something. If it's a couple weeks project or whatever, it has to be something that's simple enough and touches a bunch of stuff, which is not the easiest thing to come up with, because also you don't want it to be completely like a boring project or whatever. You want something at least a bit interesting to work on. But yeah, like at the minimal, I would want something that addresses like, oh, there's some simple pathfinding, there's some player controller that can move around. Networking would be great if we can set up something like quick where we can basically both be in the same area, walk around. fight enemies or whatever. It is some simple, maybe projectile physics or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like very simple, kind of like a vertical slice of a game that probably wouldn't be great if it was fully made, but it touches on everything. You all move over to the other Discord. I see Ulysses just messaged me that he's sitting there.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, man, how's it going?
It's going great. We're live, by the way. I'm sure you know that already, though.
Yes. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. No plans tonight?
No what?
No plans tonight? You blow your Halloween load with us?
Yeah, I blew it all, dude. I was done. No, I'm in an area where there's not really much to go around anyways.
Really? What about like that downtown? Nobody's doing anything?
I'm pretty sure they are, but it's just drinking.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And besides, I have to, I'm trying to get my stuff done so I can do, tomorrow's my dad's birthday, so.
Oh, your dad's birthday is the day after Halloween?
No, actually, we're doing his birthday tomorrow, but his actual birthday was actually Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
It was just a little inconvenient or something at the time?
Yeah, so we gotta clean out the garage and do a whole party setup, and yeah.
Well, cool.
That's the plan. Oh, did you talk, or did the girls send you a message, Vio, about the her wanting to work with us? Because I sent her.
No, I didn't. I didn't get anything.
Mm-hmm. That's weird. Okay.
Let me look at the message request. No, all my message requests are scams. Profit awaits in some Discord for you to join. Wow.
I am going to take a picture. Or actually, I'll just send you her user. Cause let's see. Okay, sent you a text message on Discord. So, cause she says she's interested, so she hasn't sent you a message. It's weird.
Yeah, okay.
just trying to finish this last up, and then I can. Damn. Almost done. Can you actually guys hear me clacking?
Nope.
My
Can't
keyboard?
hear.
Okay.
No issues.
Discord is pretty good at muting these things.
Yeah, I'm more of a, for me, Ziad, I'm more of a, you don't use it, you lose it kind of guy. Like, if I'm not consistently doing a thing, then I don't retain that knowledge. Like, I have to be consistently doing something, so. I mean, I can with enough, it depends. Like, obviously, like, sometimes I'll go a couple months spurt of, like, not using Spine because I'm, like, so busy doing painting or something in Unity or whatever. But I'm kind of revisiting that every other month or every couple of weeks or whatever, like, so frequently that that is frequent enough. But if I literally were to attempt to learn something, and so I spend, let's say, about 30, 40 hours working on something and learning it, and then I go like 2 or 3 years, I'm not going to remember that 30, 40 hours. Like, it's gone.
I see. Yeah, I mean, if I sit down and I'm just like, let me watch tutorials or whatever it is, I'll definitely gonna forget it.
Yeah.
There's no question. But again, if I build something, if I understand something, like I will definitely remember it.
I did not see this. Come on. Okay. It's still not COE work for me.
Yeah.
Where do you do your stream on?
YouTube. On our YouTube channel, yeah. I mean, sure, I could like multi-stream to like Twitch, but then I have to like make one, and also
I think we should
set it up. I just really don't think it's going to help us at all.
I mean, if
What?
we're doing it anyways, click a couple extra buttons to get it set up. I don't think, might as well. If there is 1% advantage to gain, the cost of entry is pretty low.
Yeah, but if there's a 1% advantage gained, but we need like 1,000% for our efforts to matter, then it seems rather insignificant.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. Again, if we're streaming here and we get a few viewers, 5, 6 viewers or whatever it is, if we stream on Twitch and we get 5, 6 viewers over there, although it's not like objectively significant, but it is doubling of our viewership, if that makes sense.
Oh,
I don't
sure.
know, again,
but I don't even think we're getting that, to be honest. I think on average, we're viewing our own stream. I don't think randoms really come in here.
I think a few, 1 or 2 sometimes.
Maybe.
Okay,
And also,
yeah.
I feel like the visibility on that in Twitch is much higher than on YouTube. Because YouTube, you click, you might get a live stream on your homepage, but you're most likely getting like a million other videos. But on Twitch, it's just purely live streams, right? So if somebody's, I want to watch game dev related things, we're gonna be one of few people that are streaming. It's not like the competition on YouTube. Anyways, I think it's
less competition.
It's just,
That makes sense.
Yeah, if it's something that no rush, but yeah, if it's something that we can hopefully, if it's not too much work, we can set up. But anyways, I do have some good news.
Good news.
So my theory about, or not theory, it was backed by data of like me just jacking up like graphic settings to the maximum, whatever, because our PCs can handle it, but the Steam Deck was struggling, is turned out to be true, right? So it's still not perfect performance, but this is very much playable. Like I'm just moving the camera around, and I have 144 supply in the map, and it feels smooth. It's in like high 30s and to like almost 50. It's in that range. Yeah, so this is fine. So I will give you.
So this is a big optimization improvement, is what you're saying?
It's not big optimized. It's not. This is the fastest, quickest, least work pass I can do for that. But basically, our computers don't have this problem. Will not even. I don't think they'll gain much from this because this is because we have like pretty good GPUs. So the bottleneck is usually not the GPU. The GPU still has headroom. It can render much stuff. But on the Steam Deck or low power devices, including your R tablet, this is not the case. So we get bottlenecked. The FPS gets bottlenecked by the GPU. And so once I made a version, the version of the game that I always build is usually like everything to the maximum. Even if you set it at like give me the very low settings or whatever it is, it might turn off a couple things, but it's still pretty high.
It doesn't really do it.
Yeah, so this version of the game that I have here is the absolute opposite side. If you turn it to ultra, it's still like everything sucks. It's it still looks decent visually, but like this, but obviously it's
if you play a game on low settings, it's not going to look as good as ultra, obviously.
Right. Yes. So the point is, so with all of that said, I don't think this would give us much of an improvement on our PCs, right? Which is fine, but this is with some more optimizations. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm talking about. Okay, so just to kind of reiterate or be specific with my goal, I want us to be in a position in the future where we can go to conventions, whatever, these kind of things. We can just have a Steam Deck or have a whatever,
Oh, I love
just
that.
simple stuff and
you're totally right.
Yeah, instead of like having to grab a whole PC and all those kind of things. So just and also this putting your game on I learn new information here about like the whole GPU thing and all of that. I just for the past whatever, it's just we're CPU bound. That's it. That's our game. But although that's true on our PCs, that's not true in general, right? So yeah. Anyways, I think what we'll have to do is just whatever we do that settings past the graphic settings themselves. We just have to have a deeper understanding of how to set up like low be actually low instead of what it is right now. And then this plus some more optimizations, I think like this is not that far again. Like even the 2.5D version of the game didn't have as good of performance as what I'm seeing right now in front of you. Which
is, really? Okay. Wow.
100%. Like I've tried running this on Steam Deck before, but again, we were at that point, although we weren't as graphically intensive and like as much stuff going on, we did have like a lot of our pathfinding was really slow on the CPU. Our what is it called? It's like the spine animations and all that, which they're much better now. Still not where I was hoping that they would be, to be honest, but they're much better now than they were.
So you're saying that the spine improvements didn't fix it as much as you'd hope for the CPU?
I guess maybe my expectations was maybe are the problem, right? But like it's still, I'd say the top 3 kind of most of the time of the CPU consumption is like spine animations, which to me is just doesn't make sense for 2D animations to be this high on the list of things, right? But I think with this we can make it work. We can figure out like right now, like before, the task of optimizing their code base, like their library, was like insane. Like there's no way you can sit down here. It'll be like months trying to understand everything and how they work and whatever. But now it's like, we need to extract maybe 20% more performance out of the spine animations, and I think we can tackle that. That's not crazy.
Okay.
Real quick.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
The skeleton. I'm having an issue trying to start due to a skeleton update system not being.
Okay, yeah. So click on Window and then Package Manager, and then in Project Assets. Not sorry, not assets, library or whatever, and then scroll down until you find the spine libraries. There's 3 or 4 of them, and just click on each one and click update. I think I missed pushing something like the manifest or whatever, so it doesn't necessarily like tell you that there's an. Actually, I think.
Yeah, this is gonna take a while.
Anyways, I don't know what I need to push, but anyways, yeah, it's not gonna take that long though. It's a quick update.
Yeah. Did you guys do anything for Halloween? Yeah.
No, just day job. I mean, I'm going to another party tomorrow. That'll be fun. Be hard to top how awesome my party was though, because I'm such a partier. No, but I gotta keep coming up with ways to like top my parties. Like next year has to be even cooler. So I'd say this year's was better than last year's, right, Ziad? Been to both.
Yeah.
Last year, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, yes, it was definitely better than last year. Yes.
Oh, are you trying to remember last year's because you were like one of the last ones to show up, one of the first ones to leave? Is that what you're trying to remember? Huh? Punk? Got him.
Just because I was like an hour and a half late, that don't mean nothing. I was still operating with the college mindset of never show up to a party early. Like,
oh, I guess, yeah, but like, hey, trust me, I would do the same thing if we're talking like some like frat or something full of a bunch of people I don't know. But I wouldn't do that to friends, though.
Oh, I understand. But I'm telling you, I understand the errors of my way. Don't get me wrong.
Self-awareness. You have self-awareness.
This time, I was only 20 minutes late, so it wasn't.
That's true. No. You were one of the more on-time people. It kind of took me by surprise. I was impressed.
I mean, and again, it's because the last time it was intentional. It's not. It's not like I.
Yeah. You could have been there on time if you really wanted to.
But I decided, it's like, do I really want to? I didn't want to be early, but you know, this time I did want to be.
Sure. Yeah. On time. Yeah, I believe you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I'm happy with the performance. Again,
awesome.
There's more to do, 100% on optimizations and all that. But I am more confident now that we can get this playable on Steam Deck.
Okay. Awesome.
And also,
so we get it running really great on Steam Deck and all that. I will get a Steam Deck. I mean, I'm probably gonna get Steam Deck regardless at some point. By the way, not because I really want to play games on Steam Deck, but because I want to play Conquest of Eldinar on Steam Deck. That's why. I'll get Steam Deck for my own game base. There you go. Wait, are they gonna release like a Steam Deck 2 though? Is that like a thing?
Okay, so here's the thing with Valve. Valve makes awesome things and then they just like go take a nap or whatever. I don't know honestly what they do. Like Valve Index, amazing. Like was the best headset that
headset.
And they
is it
the VR headset, like the Index, right?
I thought it was called the Vive.
Yeah. No, the Vive is the HTC one. So HTC put out Vive. That's a separate product. So Valve put out the Valve Index. And at the time, it was like the best headset. They have the best controllers. I have them over there. They're like literally best everything, right?
Wait, so they have 2 different VR headsets?
Okay. So the Vive is not Valve, right? Vive is made by HTC. Yes.
Oh, I always thought it was. Okay.
It's not, no. So Vive is made by HTC. And Valve made the Index. The interesting thing, though, is that they both use the same base stations. That's things you put on the corners of your room to detect or whatever. They use the same thing. And they're very interconnected in kind of the technologies that they use, but they're 2 separate companies that made 2 separate products. So Valve Index, great. Made the best controllers in VR. I'm pretty sure they're still the best. I haven't seen anything better than what they came up with. They put out Half-Life Alyx, which is I'd say the best VR game
Why is
as
that?
far as like just pushing the technology. Like okay, a lot of VR
Innovative?
games. Okay,
Tech
is
demos.
the way I would put it. It's inconsistent, right? In the things that you can do, right? I can in the controls and whatever, all of that. What made okay, Boneworks and
I've
Half-Life
seen that
Alyx, I
one.
think are
I
the
might
best.
have played it for a few minutes. The Boneworks
I
is like,
bought
aren't you
the
in like a
first
room
VR
and you're
headset
like
of that.
testing stuff?
Um,
Or you
I
go
mean,
into like different
there
mini
is
games?
testing levels or whatever it is, but so Boneworks is like pushed the concept to the maximum. Is like
Mhm.
every single thing is interactable, right? Everything is physics based. You can climb anything, right? You can
Mhm.
grab anything. Things like
That's
there's
cool.
if you grab something heavy, then it's gonna affect your bones or your body or whatever it is, in a way. An enemy that's heavier is gonna like be harder to push down, whatever. All of that is very physics based. Half-Life Alyx is not as like super physics based, but everything is interactable, right? You see a bottle on the ground, you can grab the bottle. It has a drink in it. You can shake that drink, and you can see the fluids move around. You see a whiteboard in front of you. You can grab the marker and start drawing on the whiteboard, or like actually let me draw on the glass over there. It's like this level of like, oh, we're gonna implement a bunch of stuff that it's not really like a part of the gameplay, but it is what makes the game fun. I just enjoyed picking random things up and throwing them around or whatever it is. It was just fun, like you know, just interacting with the physics of the game. So, anyways, to kind of bring it back, they make awesome things like that. Half-Life Alyx was it's mostly like, hey guys, VR is awesome. Look at this. But yeah, Valve Index didn't put out a second one. Half-Life Alyx made a great VR game, didn't follow it up. So they made the Steam controller or whatever, which was cool. Didn't make anything after that. They were making the Steam PCs for a while, uh, stopped making those, and they made the Steam Deck. And I don't know if they're gonna make a second one anytime soon. I'm not convinced. Like, why would that be the exception? Everything else they just dropped.
That's wild. But the Steam Deck, as far as I'm aware, I've heard like nothing but good things about the Steam Deck. This is a very
I love it.
critically acclaimed product. It's not like fringe or niche. Like I would argue, like in my personal opinion, like I still feel like VR is kind of fringe and niche. Like it's just not affordable and or accessible enough to the average consumer. But handheld gaming is a much more, I think, widely accepted like concept because ever since like the DS, like this has been a thing that companies have been pushing. So I don't know. I feel like the Steam Deck is relatively it's like a Switch, but you play your Steam games on it. Like this is a pretty
no, but
popular.
Here's the thing.
Am I wrong? Like.
Oh, you're very popular. We're very sorry. You're very right in that it's sold very well, still selling very well. People love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's a lot like there's other handheld devices, right? ASUS makes some, Lenovo makes some, and then there's a bunch of other like kind of lesser known companies that make some as well.
What OS does the Steam Deck run, by the way?
It's called SteamOS, which is based on Linux. I think it's based on Arch Linux to be specific. Which is that's another kind of crazy thing that they pushed is the whole, hey, we're gonna make Linux viable for gaming, which it was not for a very long time.
Yeah.
But Proton and all of that is just great. But so what I love about the Steam Deck is not just, oh, I can play all my Steam games or whatever it is. No, I can play any PC game anywhere. I can download the Epic Game Store and play that. I can download any emulator in the universe and play any game that I want. Literally, it's like access to everything, right? And that's just awesome to me, honestly. I like that I can just pop in and put COE in there in like 10 minutes.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's super
great.
cool.
Yeah, it's great that I can just do that. That's I don't know. I like these open devices that, hey, do whatever you want. That's why I very passionately hate Nintendo Switch. It's like I hate it. I cannot even tell you how much I hate that thing.
I mean,
I've tried it. I've tried it. I held it in my hand and I'm just like, okay, so you're giving me this low powered device, right? That if I wanna, I can buy this almost mostly the same games as I can buy on other platforms, right? Except it's the worst version of that game because it's gonna run at the lowest frame rate with the worst graphics, and it's gonna be the most expensive version of the game, right? So this game I could buy on like Steam for $15 or whatever, it's gotta be like $50 on Switch, which I don't blame the developers or whatever. It's just I'm pretty sure it's expensive to get stuff on there. And I'm only gonna be able to run things directly from one Nintendo store, so they control every. I hate that. I like the Steam Deck is just like, hey guys, here's just an awesome device. Do whatever you want to with it. But by default, the Steam store is in front of you. You know, you can buy stuff. And I definitely been buying more games than I usually do, to be honest, just because I have the Steam Deck. I'm about to buy another one.
We love Nintendo here at MythWard Entertainment. Anyone who works at Nintendo, we love you. We support all of your games and all of your products. Please don't kill us. So what? It's great. I've been a long time supporter of all Nintendo products, and I would never tarnish their company and or name in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, don't sue us, but that's how I feel about the Switch. Nothing's gonna change that. But don't sue me.
Yeah.
I kind of not at the moment, to be honest.
What?
Yeah. Well, right now it's just the fact of like Power World. You ever play that game?
I have not, but I want to.
Didn't they win the lawsuit?
Yeah, Nintendo's trying to sue them for wherever they can, and currently, Nintendo. Don't get me wrong, like the owner or the previous CEO, like he was all, dude. I love that guy. Like he was all about creating fun games for people, but apparently it's kind of like the new managers kind of like took over and just like they're greedy.
Yeah. In theory.
In theory.
In theory.
In theory.
I would never support those slanderous claims.
Yes.
Listen, guys, I want to get our games on Nintendo Switch at some point. Okay, they're gonna read the DMs. All right, let's cool it with the.
I don't think they're ever gonna do that.
Do I support
third party? I don't think they ever do like third party games. Do they?
Do I support Nintendo's corporate decisions? I plead the fifth. Do I want Conquest of Eldinar on Nintendo platforms? Yes.
Well,
of course I do. I want it everywhere, but
no. But do they even allow third-party games? Because I thought they mostly just only.
They've been bringing in indies and stuff. In fact, I have
really?
a friend of a family member that works at Nintendo, and he's been like, yeah, if you want to get Sui on Switch or whatever, just let me know. Like he works at Nintendo of America, so I have a connect there. I just need to not
hopefully
say anything bad, not say anything bad about Nintendo on stream. Where it's being recorded live.
Well, hopefully, he doesn't lose his job because I don't know if you can do that because I think it just has to get approved first, doesn't it?
The game?
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult to get on Nintendo Switch as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and isn't there like you have to buy there's licenses and hardware, like specific dev kits things.
Probably.
I don't know. It seems like an annoying long process though, whatever it is. But I mean, again, I would 100% want to get on Nintendo Switch with everything that I said. Although it's not for me as a consumer, there's a lot of people that really love their Nintendo Switch, and I love that for them.
Yeah.
And I just feel like their life is missing something. Like
Hey, I'm the same way when it comes to. Don't even get me started. Now this I can openly mock. Don't even get me started on like Macs, like Apple people. I'm like a PC, Android all the way. It's just like where's like the customizability? I'm not talking about like a simple gradients. I'm talking like, okay, you buy a Mac PC or whatever, and it's like you're not swapping out graphics cards or something. Like that's not like a thing. It's not for gaming. What is it? If it's not for gaming, what is this thing for? Like GarageBand or something? Final Cut?
I will say something though, right?
What?
And this is something that I would not have said 2 years ago.
Okay.
But now, my work computer is a MacBook.
Uh-huh.
MacBook Pro, I think with an M2 Max, if I'm not mistaken. And that thing is amazing. I don't care. Like, I was an Apple hater for a long time for lots of reasons, right? But that thing is just solid. Okay, so I don't think maybe. Yeah, so the M2 chip, like, I think Max started getting really good in my eyes with the whole M series chips that they did. So, you know, for the longest time ever, they just all their computers are Intel chips, right? So it's the same processor you would get on any regular laptop, an i7 or an i9 or whatever. And then they started making their own processors, and their own processors are like way ahead of everyone, right? So you're talking about like a super fast processor, right? That is extremely efficient. So their laptops, this I can do basically a whole work day without having to plug in my charger, right? I'm doing a bunch of dev work and things like that. That it's not. I have a million things open at the same time, and it's fine. And on top of that is just every time I had a Windows machine or whatever it is, like I had also a work laptop at Dell or whatever. I don't have necessarily a problem with Dell. It's just general Windows stuff. And then after like a year of just installing regular stuff and doing things, it starts chugging along, and you know, I'm sure you've experienced like the regular annoying kind of curve of Windows getting worse over time, and that just has not happened. In like the past 2 years or so that I've had this Mac, it is just like I got it yesterday, just a solid, no issues, nothing. It's just solid. So yeah, that's kind of my argument. Is like I would buy a MacBook as a thing to just for like regular things, you know. I'm doing some dev work, some things like that or whatever it is. But now, if I dig deeper, I would say that although I think Mac hardware is great or whatever it is, I do think like Linux has come a very long way nowadays. My like main primary personal computer, I have Mint Linux on it. I love it, to be honest.
But you have that computer on your PC right here that you play and build Conquest of Eldinar on Linux?
No. I said on my main laptop, not my main PC.
Oh, on a laptop. So, I see.
Yeah. So this laptop is ThinkPad T480. It's it has like I think an 8th gen processor, so it's like years old at this point, right? And if I have Windows on it, this will probably barely be usable. But just having Linux on it, great battery life, very solid performance, like doesn't chug, nothing, is just working like a workhorse all the time. It's great, honestly. I think Linux is it is. I wish it was more approachable, is what I would say to the majority of people, because truthfully, it is. If you're not like comfortable with a terminal or whatever it is, you're gonna have a bit of a hard time, you know, through Linux. But
it's just not very user friendly, is the problem.
It's the most user friendly it has ever been, right? But it's like a lot of things, the solution will be like, oh yeah, open a terminal and write a bunch of commands or whatever it is. This kind of
yikes,
is a thing nowadays, right? But that's why I love it, though. You know, as a developer, that's great for me, you know.
I guess, but you're talking like you need the mass consumers. Like this is why I imitate like Blizzard's like philosophy. It's like they took what I believe to be was a relatively like fringe and niche genre, whether it was RTS or whether it was MMOs, right? They take it and then they essentially just simplify it, like make it for casuals or something, make it more accessible, and then they just become the king. And you know, we're talking Blizzard many years ago, though. Like back in the day, like that's what they did with World of Warcraft. Is they took the fringe niche genre of MMOs, which was I think it was EverQuest at the time was the first one, and then they I think like an example of this was like the death system. I think in EverQuest it was like a lot more punishing and very like brutal, like if you die you drop all of your items or something, you lose XP and all this stuff like that. And that's like, ooh, okay, if you're like a dad and your kids are taking a nap and you have like 30 minutes 1 hour to like play your video game or whatever, you don't want to be like losing progress, you don't want it to be that punishing. And so these guys, they make World of Warcraft and they're like, oh, okay, you die, no worries. You just have to run back to your body. You lose a little bit of time. You got to spend 5 minutes like walking back to your body as a ghost or whatever, and then you can resurrect. And you took a little bit of a durability hit, but outside of that, it was fine. Oh, in Guild Wars. Okay, yeah. So essentially, Blizzard was like, we're gonna take this MMO thing and we're gonna kind of streamline it and simplify it a little bit. It's funny how much people like they play like modern WoW, and then they go back and they play like vanilla WoW, and they're like, oh wow, this is like so like hardcore, and it's like, no, vanilla WoW was the baby game, like back in the day, as opposed to like all of the other MMOs, which were really really hardcore back in the day. But anyways, what was I trying to say? I was trying to say that like Windows is like the baby game here, like. In Linux is like super hardcore because like I can hardly, my mom doesn't understand the concept of like dragging a box like on Windows and like selecting multiple items, right? And then like holding down left click and then moving those things. Like that just goes beyond her. I have to like re-explain it like 5 times. So it's like if an average like consumer, like, you know, Walmart American can't understand how to use Windows, who in the name of God thinks that they're going to be able to understand how to do a Linux? Like, absolutely
yeah,
not.
I mean, so okay, it's not, first off, like, it's not super insane. Okay, first thing, like, when you talk about Blizzard and this and that, you have to kind of, and Windows even, you have to remember that Linux is open source, free, all right? So there is no profit here for the most part, yes? So, and also Linux is very divided, right? Windows is just, there's Windows and then there's 10 and 11 or whatever it is. Linux, there's the base Linux kernel and a few things like that. And then there's like gajillion distros like make a copy of Linux and then put a bunch of stuff on top of it, change it, put a new interface, like whatever, like stuff like that, and then ship it as like, oh, this is Ziad Linux distro or whatever it is. And there's so many of those. There's some of them that are more usable than others. Mint is the one I use on my laptop. That's pretty approachable, to be honest. Like if I give it to you, you would be able to do 95% of, like 90 to 95% of things just fine without really having to open a terminal or do whatever it is. But it's like to extract that extra advantage of being able to super customize things and do whatever and this and that, like having that knowledge will be best. But yeah, I don't like Linux is not trying to appeal to everyone, like as a desktop environment. Yeah, and also just kind of a side note, I think actually I don't know the numbers honestly, but Linux is definitely like one of the most used OSs in the world, just because basically all servers, not all of them, but the vast majority of them use Linux as the OS on it. Headless.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. So essentially, if you were to try to explain to an average consumer like me, like what is the advantage of using Linux versus Windows, what would you say?
Okay, high average consumer. So first, Windows, like nowadays, is, in my opinion, pretty bloated, right? In a sense that, well, they're trying to shove the AI stuff down your throat all the time, and the stuff is running all the time, right?
Windows Copilot or whatever, yeah.
There you go. Yes, it's it's a heavy OS, right? So if I install Windows versus I install Linux in like my main laptop, I haven't honestly even tried to install Windows. I don't care. But if I do, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be much slower. It's gonna have like less battery life and all of that, right? And the second thing is like when you said Apple, it's like, oh, where's the customizability and all that? If like you look at Windows and you're like, wow, that's customizable compared to Macs and whatever it is. Now Linux is like on a whole other level, right? Where you do not even, if you don't want a desktop environment, you don't want like, oh, this desktop and Windows or whatever, you don't have to have that. You can have just like there's something called tiling window managers. There's like stuff that it's
like true customizability. It goes wild.
It's super, every single facet of the OS is customizable. Like everything. Like I literally every single little thing is customizable, right? And that's the thing is you can get like lightweight builds where only the things that you care about are running, only the things that you care about are upfront, and that just makes things much faster, like way faster than using a Windows machine or whatever it is, where it's trying to appeal to everyone versus finding something that appeals to you specifically. So that's what I would say. I think honestly, like again, if I wouldn't say you're the average consumer, right? I think you're definitely a more advanced. You're not a programmer, but you're way more advanced than the average person, right?
Yeah,
So
I'm pretty fluent,
I would
like
think
PC fluent. Yeah.
You wouldn't have too much of a hard time on Linux, to be honest. Like, and I don't know if this would really add anything to your life, but I think you should give it a shot at some point. It'll be fun.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a tremendous difficulty in developing something with Linux support? Or is that a dumb question? Is everything supported by Linux by default? You know, applications and whatnot.
Oh, okay. No, so no. So yes, there is. Actually, the biggest hurdle in people moving to Linux is that if I don't know if that's a great example, but I would assume so. I'll do some research. But if I'm Adobe or whatever it is, that supporting an extra build for Linux and testing it and all that, that's pretty expensive, right? It's because you have this massive suite of applications, and just supporting that all over the place, you need decent amount of engineering hours. So most companies don't really bother with having builds for Linux, right? So there's just things that aren't accessible directly, or to be able to launch them, you have to run it through like a compatibility layer, which is basically this application that allows you to run Windows applications, as an example, on Linux, right? Which is great for some things, but then you can kind of, when you hear that, you can already imagine how finicky that's going to be.
Yeah.
It's not going to work great in a lot of cases. It's going to be slow in some others, whatever. And this stuff that's been built up for years now, it's way better than it used to be. Again, Proton, amazing. That's what enables the Steam Deck to be what it is that it's able to run Windows games with basically no performance hit. It's just awesome, honestly. So yeah, so it's like depends on what you're building your application in. So something like Unity for us, there's the cost of supporting a Linux build is not really that much, because by design Unity is cross-platform. You can make your game once, and then we can build on for Mac OS if we want. We can build on Linux if we want, and then even more things like PlayStation and
we definitely
Nintendo
shouldn't
Switch
support Macs, just out of principle.
Out of principle, yes. Maybe
we should punish them for having a Mac. Yeah.
There you go. Yes. No, we support it, but the game just randomly shuts off halfway. Make them mad.
No, I just like text is like floating on screen, like all damage numbers, or you can't turn them off. Like all damage numbers are just, it plays like a wet noodle sound effect, and instead of the damage number, it just says you're a loser, and it, like those pop up every single time you're hitting somebody. It's just like beep, 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 and it says like you're a loser. Yeah.
Wow.
Just really gonna make friends with everybody who's using a Mac.
Right, which is a lot of business people that we need to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's one of the nice things about Unity is that is, like, if looking at the list now, you can build Mac OS and then servers if you want, Android, iOS, PlayStation 4, 5, web for like your browser or whatever it is. I don't know what Facebook Instant Games, but that MetaQuest, UWP.
Did you just say Facebook Instant Games?
Yes, that's literally one of the options. And then MetaQuest, TV OS, like Apple TV OS, and Vision OS if you want to build for the Apple Vision Pro or whatever. very
VR.
That's a $3,500 VR headset.
Jesus, who would get what?
Crazy, right? Yeah, it's literally $3,500. It's apparently it's like the best VR headset that whatever, but it better be. It's $3,500.
What does that let
you
you
know?
do? See into the fourth dimension?
It's an AR headset, so it's more
Oh, I
so
see.
yeah. So there's cameras up front, so you see your own environment, but you also see like windows flying or whatever. I don't know. Have you tried that like the MetaQuest 3? That thing is actually pretty good to be honest. Like
Oh
like
yeah, I had that
the
actually.
the okay, the fact that I can have like a and this is something that I did for a while, but I wore it so much that my eyes started hurting and I kind of had to stop using it. But I'd be washing the dishes and I'm wearing it so I can see the dishes and everything in front of me. But I also have this like gigantic floating window with YouTube on the side of me that I'm watching. It is honestly like a very interesting experience. And apparently, like that, and this is the MetaQuest is like a few $100s, not $3,500. But Apple's like the way next level of that apparently.
Okay.
Which reminds me, I gotta charge my MetaQuest. I haven't used it in so long.
So I have. I'll be down if you want to do some VR gaming. I don't know what we would play, but I'll be down.
There's a zombie game I played, and it was a. Hold on, I'm trying to think of it, and my mind's going blank. Let me pull it up. But it's hella fun.
Arizona Sunshine.
Frozen zombie game. I think. Zombie Mayhem in the Frozen City, I think that's called. Or After the Fall. After the Fall. I'm sorry. It's called After the Fall.
There's,
pretty fun.
Have you played Population 1 before?
Which one?
Population 1.
What's that for?
It's a battle royale, like a VR battle royale. It's pretty. So obviously battle royales are pretty played out at this point, but just the novelty of it being in VR, you know, you're flying around and picking up weapons and running and hiding and all that. It's pretty fun. Yeah, watch a video of it. It's
It looks
pretty
interesting.
fun. Yeah, it's a fun game.
Yeah. That sounds like a good game too. I haven't tried it. I haven't played any PvP. I mostly just I mostly just play PvEs. That's because when I bought it, it was like, okay, it's pretty new, pretty good. And there wasn't a lot of good games at the moment. So I was like, I just picked a couple that were free. And then one that I bought, and I was like, okay. And I just got into the Frozen one because it was really fun playing zombies. And as you level up, no, it's not you level up. It's more like the more missions you play, the harder difficulty, the more you unlock, because it's kind of like a cash quest.
Yeah, that's VR's issue is it's a software issue. Right? I was talking to a friend recently, and his whole argument is like VR is like so inconvenient and sucky or whatever it is that as a concept it's great, but then it's been long enough that things should be stable and easy to use and make sense or whatever it is. But there's just no cohesiveness between games. Games are far and few between, and usually when games are put out, they're like low budget, whatever. I just made like a quick thingy that's it's in VR, but then it's really not that, you know.
Great. I know it's.
Yeah.
I don't blame them because technically, I've heard it's pretty hard to create a game with the VR system. Technically, like trying to work that out is kind of like really difficult. And
Yeah.
I salute people who can make games like that.
So I mean, fundamentally, is the same kind of concepts that we use in making anything, right? But obviously, with caveat here being that there's just less built out things. Like if you want to make a first person game, right? You can very easily find the first person controller and drop it in or whatever it is. There's a few things like that in VR, but just due to the custom nature of every game and that it wants to do different things, it's not as easy to find these things. And then, as I said, there's just not cohesiveness in games, so that interaction systems, whatever, all these kind of things, it's more difficult to build out. And also, if we're making, you can get away with a lot more illusions and simpler things in a traditional game, right? Because you have a certain fixed perspective, it's so you can make floating hands, so that's fine. All right, what's the problem, whatever. But VR, when games make floating hand, is just objectively less immersive, right, than a game that has full body. If you Boneworks or whatever, I think it's way more immersive because you have your whole body and you can see yourself and all that. And that's the difficulty in it, is the level of details that are required to make something really good, and the level of polish is just very high up there.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I think
like absolute people just they can do stuff like that because.
Well, I mean, anybody can do it. I don't think it's like if we sat down 100%, we can make
really good and more interactive to where it kind of gets that realistic feel. The player can really immerse themselves.
Yeah, it's the what am I trying to say? The issue of it's not worth it for most big gaming companies to spend resources making a VR game. Yeah, exactly. It's very high risk because the sales you're gonna get. You're gonna develop a VR game, you're probably gonna spend just as much, if not more time to make something that's awesome in VR.
Yeah.
And then the sales you're gonna get are objectively much less.
Yeah, essentially, an easy way to summarize it is it's a higher floor and a lower ceiling. So why would people really? Why would developers
financially
losing their jobs all the time? Why would they want to take a risk on that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's not worth it for most companies, and it is. Even though VR is pretty damn accessible at the moment. The Quest 3 that I have, which is my third headset that I ever gotten, right? And it's the cheapest headset that I've got. I got it for $300, right? Used, but almost brand new, to be honest, for $300. And it's the best quality one. I've had a Vive and a Vive Pro, which both of them, the Vive Pro was new, was $1,000 or something like that. I mean, I didn't buy it for that much. I also bought it used. Right. But the Quest is the best quality out of any of them, and it was $300. This is decently accessible, obviously. Not. You get my point. It's it's much more accessible than having to spend $1,000, and you have to have a monster PC, is what it used to be a few years ago. Now it's a few $100s, and that's it. That's all you need to really be immersed in all that. But it's just still that if you make a game for that versus if you make a PC game or a console game or whatever it is, there's just a lot more established audience there that will play your game and buy it. But yeah, I still think VR is it's awesome, to be honest. It's just comfort is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
it's the biggest issue right now, which is big screen Beyond 2, which is the new headset that they just put out not too long ago. If you look at that thing, it's honestly it's something. It looks like the traditional kind of big thing on your head VR headset or whatever it is completely deviates from that. It's just a simple small thing that you put on your eyes. It's super light. It's just nice. But there's only one problem with it, is that it's $1,000. So
I'm waiting for the whole like player one experience. You know, the movie.
Yeah,
that's what I'm waiting for.
That's what everybody's waiting for, right? Right. That's what I mean, because like again, as you know, like I like doing sim racing and that, and sim racing in VR is amazing. It's like objectively a great, like super immersive experience, because in something like that where you're in the VR world, you're in a static spot. I'm just sitting down like I would be if I was sitting down in a car, and I can just look around. If I see a car next to me, whatever, I can just look to my left and see it. But like comfort is just has been the issue. That's why I can't sit down and do it for too long versus having the like I got the ultra wide as a replacement, like that 49-inch whatever, the Samsung one, and that's objectively less immersive again, but I can sit down if I want to for a couple hours or whatever it is. I don't, because you know I have stuff to do, but I can do that.
Huh? That is weird. Hey, quick question: can you sell your outpost?
You're supposed to be able to, but it's not implemented yet.
Okay.
I don't know if I noticed it like a couple of weeks ago that I just never implemented that.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure
out. Let me see if I don't know if I logged it though as something that needs to be implemented. I know I wrote it in my to do like.
Oh, you kind of when you push.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what you pushed, but like everything got locked out, so I had to unlock some of them.
I don't know what that means. What do you mean got locked out?
Okay, so basically, I can't summon any structures unless I literally have to unlock it. Hold up, let me see. Maybe it's just.
I don't know what that means.
Give me one second. Why are they locked? Yeah. Basically, when I go in, all my structures are unavailable, and I have to they're toggled off for game. They're set active false on the start of the game.
Oh,
don't know why.
I see. Okay. Yeah. I know why.
What'd you do?
It's something with so the networking framework that we have, Fishnet, which by the way I had a long conversation with Corey on this, but we're probably moving away from it. It does a thing if an object is like considered to be a networked object, and then the game starts, and then it's not detecting that a server started or we're connected to a game or whatever it is. By default, it turns these things off.
Okay.
So that's why they're disabled. I did some fixes on all these things. They're on my end. I don't see these issues anymore. But yeah.
Cool. Just making sure. I'm still trying to figure out the. Okay, it's kind of hard to see what's going on when. I know what's going on. I'm just trying to find out where it is. Because once you sell or destroy, it doesn't actually remove the stuff, and it's a simple fix. It's just finding out where.
Alright, before you do anything, give me like a few minutes just to push all the changes that I have on my end, just to make sure that you don't end up.
No, that's okay. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just trying to figure it out. Still, I'm still.
I'm saying. So you don't end up wasting your time trying to dig into something that I already fixed, if that makes sense. So I just want to.
Yeah. But it's still good for me to try and learn how the structures are being built, because technically it goes from the UI card to structure, and then when you select the structure, it pulls it up on the HUD, and I'm trying to figure out how that works.
Okay, sorry. Say the sequence again.
So you know how you go over to the unit ID card, you click on the wall. When you click on the wall, obviously, it spawns the structure. I know how that works, but I'm trying to get to the point where when you select the structure, it pulls up the UI HUD, like the health, the abilities it has, and I'm trying to basically learn how.
Oh, you say when you click on a structure, you
Yeah,
see that at the bottom?
yeah,
Okay.
the center bottle, how it pulls up like the wall, the health, its abilities such as train troopers, sell it, upgrade. I'm trying to figure
Um,
out.
so is do you see value in you figuring that out by yourself, or do you want me to just tell you how it works?
Um, you know what? Just tell me.
Okay. So, if there's for the selection in general in the game, right? There's kind of a generic system
Uh-huh.
where any object that has a script called selectable, right? So you're gonna
Right.
see this if you click on any of the prefabs or whatever it is, you're gonna see this script everywhere. So that's you're gonna see it on the structures, on the units, whatever, right?
Right.
Anything that's selectable. And this script, wait, let me pull it up just to remember what I have on there to be said. Okay, yeah. So you can put like the main life state component of the anything that's selectable, and then there's a few other things like, oh, what's the renderer, some calculations on how big it is, if it's something that could be sold, whatever, like some data about that. But anyways, once you have something that's selectable, if you click on it, now you can select it, right? Simple enough. And then for there's the selection manager. The selection manager, whenever you actually click on something,
Mhm.
it is able to check, oh, this is a selectable, and then grabs the relevant information. So what is the display name of it, as an example, right? So the display name is like, uh, what name are we showing on the UI, right? Which doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the name of what the unit is called on the back
Mhm.
end, right? Yeah, so it grabs that. It grabs life state information. So you have like this object life state parent class, which has the health, the mana, whatever, those generic things. Um, and it grabs that information. It displays the health bar. Um, it displays the if there's a mana on this unit, it also displays the current mana, whatever it is. And then the abilities is usually attached to the controller of the object.
Mhm.
Um, and it just pulls there's like a list of abilities, right? And the abilities are like all under this generic class, I think is called ability. So, and there's every ability, if you see in the prefabs, has like a few things. It has like a UI image, it has the mana cost, the cooldown, whatever, a few things that you can set on it, right? And it pulls those automatically, grabs whatever UI images, and then renders them. And when you click on it, there is function that gets called. I think it's called execute or something like that. By the way,
Mhm.
all the logic for like how, like once an object is selected, now we want to display the UI elements and the health bar and all that. That's in the UI HUD manager.
Okay. Oh yeah, I got that one. Yeah, I figured that
Does the
part out.
sequence of things make sense here? With the abilities things is generic enough, so the sell button, as an example, it is it is technically an ability, which is weird, right? Because like
Yeah.
it's not an ability, but it's like the sell ability or whatever, where you can activate it. It's implemented the same way the lightning punch in Flint Aaron is implemented in at a kind of a generic level, where it's an ability. It has an image. It's an ability that has no cost, mana cost, or time cooldown time. You can execute it, like activate it anytime. And when you activate it, instead of Flint Aaron punching or whatever it is, the ability is gonna be sold. That's the way you should look
Yeah. I'm just
at
trying to figure this out because that way I can do
it.
if it's destroyed or sold, the UI HUD's gonna go away. It's gonna cancel any training turrets at any training turrets, so that way units don't get spawned in, and the players can't spawn in on an invisible wall. That's what I'm trying to fix. Because basically, you can still spawn train troopers. Like if it gets destroyed or you sell it, you can spam train the wall turrets. The wall go away, but the turrets will still be there. So that's what I'm trying to fix.
Yeah. So I think, mm, if I'm not mistaken, there is an event that goes out when the wall is destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the exact name, but I'm assuming I called it something like player wall destroyed and enemy wall destroyed or something like that. If there isn't one for walls specifically, then
There
it's
is.
just oh, okay, great. So whenever the wall is destroyed, that event goes out, and the intention is that event should uh, result in um, all the wall archers dying, right?
Yeah.
So if this doesn't exist already, it should, which is, well, if there's anybody in the queue, we should clear out the queue as well for that wall. You know, just making sure that we have these edge cases.
I think that's what's missing is the actual execution of it. Let me check something out.
Yeah, I think the wall turrets
Do die, but then the
yeah,
the thing is that they do die. Let me double check that before I say it because I might be wrong.
they do. Not all. There's special cases, I'd say, where if in that sequence of events, if something fails, we have seen that
Oh,
that
okay.
they don't actually fully die like they should. Uh, but
A second, I'm trying to.
sorry.
What's it called? Destroy all objects. KM.
But if no errors in the process, they do die as expected.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a lot of stuff to push. This is not good. I should be pushing more. Whenever I'm doing like a bunch of performance optimizations, whatever, things like that, I tend to get a little. I don't push as much of my changes as I should, because everything is like in this middle state where I'm like, oh, I'm testing out 50 different changes or whatever.
Yeah. No
They will get
problem.
backed up.
You don't have to
No,
push it
there
today
is
if you don't want to. Just don't.
no, I'm pushing it right now, and yes, problem, because changes piling up on my end is usually a bad idea.
Dangerous.
Yes, because something can get lost, which has happened before. I'm way more careful now though with these things, and kind of able to spot if an issue is gonna happen. But also it just creates more friction in the future whenever if you make a change or whatever it is, and then we try to merge our changes together, things are
Yeah.
don't always mesh well. But anyways, I'm pushing soon. I'm just doing
Mesh.
a quicker. Haha.
I'm working on it. I'm working on a big mesh in Blender right now.
There you go. What are you making?
I'm trying to essentially create an. So the ocean on the world map right now, it's the mesh is just a big circle, and so that's what this ocean texture is being applied to. But that is not going to work because there's regions like Krageth. Krageth is actually, it might be hard to tell from the 2D map, but Krageth is in a giant crater. Like it's in the earth. So it's below sea level. But if there's this giant oval, which is the sea level sitting here on the map, then I have no way of digging into it. If you go down too low, you're just going to start cutting into the ocean because that's underneath the floor always. So I need a mesh that essentially more accurately silhouettes what is actually going on here. So I can delete this stuff. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Somewhat.
Okay, so think of it like there's a sea level right now on the world map. But I want to make stuff that goes beneath sea level. Does that make sense?
Why are you making stuff that goes beneath sea level?
Because
wouldn't that not be
Krageth.
visible?
Well, but they need to be visible. So the environment, the Chaturg, their environment goes underneath sea level.
Sure.
But I can't go
But
underneath sea level because the sea level is like bound to the map.
Hold on. Let me see.
and how are sorry, I'm still confused. How are you fixing this with a custom mesh in Blender? Because sea level is like the sea thing we use right now is just a plane,
Yes.
right?
So I'm creating a custom plane that has the where you kind of see what I'm doing. Like I want these areas to not be sea. I'm getting rid of the sea in these areas that I've highlighted because now I'm just going to select this. And I'm going to select no. I'm going to select this and delete faces. Delete faces. I'm getting rid of the ocean on these particular parts.
Okay, and is the ocean itself like a texture or something that you can apply?
Yeah. It's just you see, the ocean is just it's a giant texture that's on top of a big circle. You see?
Okay, here's my question: could the ocean be on a terrain? So you
No,
can make these
no,
modifications?
a terrain. No, you can't do that.
Okay, I see.
So,
Could the ocean be on in like a you make it in like tiles, so you can easily modify it in Unity specifically. So you have like little squares as an example, and you just have these little squares in a grid, and then anywhere you don't want that, then you just
Actually, hold
delete.
on. Before I start spewing BS, let's test out what you just said. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't work, but I could be wrong.
I don't know how the kind of the caustics or whatever it's called, if that
That's
stuff would
water?
work correctly, but
Caustics is water.
isn't that like the interaction between the water and land, or am I?
Caustics is the reflections like of water like on ground terrain. It's like light coming through, and the little white stuff that you
Okay.
see on like the
Yeah,
sand under the water. That's
yeah,
caustics.
that's what I. Okay, yes. So
You're,
I had the term correct. Yes, I'm saying I don't know if that would work if we have those like tiled thingies, but yeah, let's give it a shot.
well, technically, this ocean is a material.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if I were to
So make like
select this
a
material,
small
why don't we
square.
just try
Small,
attaching this material to our terrain and see what happens?
yeah.
Um,
Or you can make a new terrain and
because
kind of
material terrain
do
lit.
that.
So why don't we just? What in the hell?
I know nothing of this art stuff.
Oh my god.
You know,
Not too much, no. I only
can't
do
see
it
I
in
in
real
mean,
time.
Photoshop and
I mean, it's
1 second. I'm still waiting to be because I can't see real time because I'm
oh,
looking at this stream.
sorry.
yeah, I have like a 5-10 second
Uh,
delay.
Why does it look like that?
Well, because we made the ground ocean, essentially.
Oh, so that's what it is.
It is a material, so you're not wrong technically.
No.
Uh,
Could you create like a third?
Question
Like another?
is hold on, I gotta get rid of this.
I don't know if there's a way to not make it because at least
Not
the
make
part
it
of
what?
the stream that I'm on right now is just looks kind of weird.
Well,
Looks almost
we
silver
took
or
we took
something.
the terrain, or we took the ocean, the material of this ocean. We just applied it to our world terrain. So
Oh, I
if
see.
you
I see.
wanted to know
So
what
yeah,
it
I
looked
mean,
like,
I think, I see. I think that would be.
potentially
Wouldn't
easier.
you be able to if you have two terrains? Yeah, and then a flat terrain and a non-flat one, and then just carve the water
Carve the
terrain
water out.
into whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I kind of like that. Hold on, you might be onto something here. Clearly there's a little bit of chicanery that's gonna go on with that, but let me see what I can do.
Well, I'm not head to bed. I've been going to bed early, so
No worries. You have yourself a good night.
yeah, guys,
Yeah, good night.
Let me
have
see
fun.
here.
Will do.
This is interesting. Interesting. Um. So it's going to need its own terrain data. What if I just... Very interesting.
Yeah, every terrain needs its own thingy.
Yeah, I just gotta hook that up real quick. That was a good idea.
What can I say? I can't help my teenies.
Yeah, you're just cursed with knowledge.
Yeah.
You can also call it water, but yeah, whatever. So I put it here, and then I feel like I put it in two places, though. Oh, it's right there as well. There we go. Okay, so... Ooh. Hold the phone here. Doing this. No. Damn it. Oh, whoops.
What happened with Enshrouded? I haven't heard
What about
anything about
they've been
them.
having updates.
Do you ever think about playing that game again?
Yeah. Yeah, I think definitely. I'd like to play that at some point.
It was really fun. But yeah, it'll probably be time consuming, unfortunately.
That is the problem, as per usual. I feel like I need to take that. Just absolutely blowing stuff up right now. It's pretty great. What was it before? It was probably... what was it? It was... so oh, what in the Atlantis? Am I doing? Okay. I'm about to blow up my computer. You just watch. It's gonna be like, you are not allowed to do terrain deformations at that scale. We're about to reset the ocean maximum brush size. It's gonna take a minute. Is that too high? Oh, I see. I think so. About 190. Man, what was it set to before? This is the weirdest looking thing ever. Oh my god.
See, I don't know what you're commenting on. Because it could be the same thing I'm looking at, and it could be completely different, you know?
I mean, let me look at this stream. No, you're definitely looking at it. Yeah, that's, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I don't know what's happening, to be honest. I don't know. What is even...
What's happening?
Is that 2 terrains?
Yes. So because I didn't want to go through the effort of like creating like a new fresh terrain, I just duplicated the terrain that I had so that way it could be like essentially the same size. But I copied all like its shape and all that then, right? So I have to kind of repaint the ocean level onto the environment. So as you can see, like in these areas, like this is where I'm like brushing in that new terrain. So I'm brushing in the ocean. And it looks wild. And this weird chromatic landscape, it's just because the terrain and the ocean, the ground and the ocean are competing for the same space.
I see.
So as I start to paint it out.
After you paint the ocean, you were gonna paint the other side down then.
Yeah, I have to paint the whole ocean back down again. Like I have to go through and start doing this. I'm just trying to figure out what the ocean level was. Ooh, flatten all. Oh, there you go. Why? I don't need to paint it all. Okay, the ocean level's clearly too high. Oh, it's too low now, I see. is it 190? Interesting. Okay, hold on. Interesting. Okay, what happened? Are you in Unity?
Mm-hmm.
Can you click on the ground and tell me what material it has, so whatever scene you're in?
Sure. Terrain lit.
That's what I thought.
What's happening?
I'm just looking for I accidentally attached some weird material to this floor. I'm trying to reset it back to what it was. Oh, okay. No, I got it. Never mind. Definitely wrong. This dog is so heavy. Oh. Oh, you gotta chill out. Yeah. I'm gonna restart you today. I think I'm breaking shit. More or less. That's gonna be a pain in the butt. Absolute pain in the butt. Oh, I have to think about this. There must be a way to prevent this. So even with, you know how you can click the hand in Unity and you can prevent you from interacting with that? The little finger. Turn it on to like, so I can't touch the floor anymore. I can't click on it. I can't select that object by clicking the little hand over here on the.
I never knew that's what that does, but okay, now I know.
The eye makes it so you can't see it. The little hand makes it so you can't touch it, can't interact with it. So a lot of the times when I'm doing world building, I will like, let's say, I don't know, let's say like all the trees and rocks are in a good place, but I just want to touch the floor. Well, I take the tree and the rock folder and I click the hand, and so now when I'm clicking around and touching up the floor, adding grass or something, I won't accidentally click on a tree or a rock and select those, which would then take me out of my painting mode. Or vice versa. Let's say I just want to be placing trees, but I fat finger and I accidentally like click the floor of the map. Well, I don't want to switch into painting mode. I want to stick to tree mode. So you turn the hand on to prevent that. That is not working with this with the terrain thing, which means because I have two arguing terrains that are right next to each other here, an ocean terrain and a floor terrain, but both of them are reacting to my brush strokes. I cannot paint one independently of the other. So that's causing conflicts. Now, I could just disable the object, but that,
I was gonna say, yeah.
That makes it very difficult because I have to try and eyeball what I think a river is, the height that it's supposed to be at, without the floor there as reference. I like turn it off, turn it back on, turn it off, turn it back on. I wish I could just paint the ocean and I could paint through it and it'll just ignore the floor. You know, any other instance that would be the case.
Did you look up to see if there's a way to?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
lock.
I'm gonna have to look that up right now. It's a new issue. I've never seen this before, but it took me a minute. I creating all sorts of problems for myself with this. Created all sorts of problems with myself because I was like, the terrain of the map was like really like weird and sunk into the ocean, but only certain portions of it. And I realized that when I had been repainting like the ocean level or whatever, that I had straight up done like massive like sweeping damage to the terrain. I was like, oh crap, undo. So
I see.
But I'm trying to dig the ocean
it's just
level.
That it affects both. I assume that it would only affect whatever terrain you have selected at the moment.
Yeah, no. Terrain affects all terrain, not just the one that you have selected. I would have thought the same thing too, but I imagine that's probably something to do with like, you know, if you're making I don't know, World of Warcraft or something, right? You're stitching multiple terrains together. You're working on an area where two terrains meet. Maybe you want to be able to paint a hill or something seamlessly from one to the next. You know, and it would just naturally blend those two terrains together.
Yeah. I think I got a solution for you.
Okay.
So go to the terrain that you don't want to edit.
Okay.
And then in the inspector, you see how there's a train collider? Yeah.
Train collider? Terrain collider. Yeah.
I don't know, I said train.
Turn it off for a
off.
second. Okay.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, I
try
just did
it.
that.
It's
Yeah. That's working. That I can do. I'm not opposed to like just turning something off temporarily, so that way I can do that. I just need that visual element. Like I need to be able to see the ground as I'm painting the water, and that's gonna make it so much easier.
Yeah, I completely get that. It would be confusing if you had to turn it off.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out like how much should I
see the interaction between both of them as well. Is kind of important here.
Exactly. Yeah, because now I can like I can go into the Crageth right here, and I can just like de-paint the water out without touching the actual terrain itself. Really good.
I just implemented the sharpshooters, well, any kind of bow units in the future being able to shoot flying units.
Oh, nice.
Ugly visually, but yeah, it just locks on if your mouse hovers on a flying unit, then
and you release.
It locks onto them as long as you're hovering on top of them. Yeah. So if you release, it is equivalent to how the AI does it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Which works pretty well, but yeah, visually it's just because we have like the ground indicator, which is a projector, so it's always on the ground. So I think what we're gonna need to do is disable that in this specific case and enable something like
imagine
on the units or whatever it is. Which, by the way,
yeah, imagine you take that same indicator imagine you take that same indicator and you just flip it horizontally, like billboard it towards the camera, and put it over the flying target. So it's like an error target that's like that zooms in on them. That might be cool.
Yeah, no, I don't get what you're saying. So say that again.
So you know the circle on the ground that closes in on the spot that you're shooting. Take that same circle, flip it on its side, and put it on the Griffin. Like anchor it onto the Griffin. So now when I'm hovering over it, that circle is shrinking in on the Griffin's location, and then I release, and then it shoots it.
I see. I mean, doing the sharpshooter is the one that's shooting the Griffin, which doesn't have that shrinking. Sharpshooter is just
that's true.
Solid. Yeah. But regardless, though, the issue is the component that we're using to draw that circle on the ground. It's not possible for it to be in the air. It's what's called a projector, which works as you can imagine.
Oh, okay, sure. Well, we can just do a sprite version of it.
A different element.
It's like the same thing. Yeah.
That will be interesting. The only issue with it is it'll be hard to get the scale right, because if you're trying to shoot a Griffin versus a Falcon, you want the circle to be much smaller for the Falcon. Otherwise, it will just be ugly. Honestly, ideally, I think the Griffin should be highlighted in red or something like that.
Well, sure, yeah, we could use highlights. Are highlights not working right now? You're sometimes trying to say?
I think they're just intentionally disabled. I don't remember the full context here. I haven't looked at it in a very long time. Well, if I recall correctly, they were just problematic. Okay. Yeah, I just see they have if you recall the issue of it's not like a highlight around the unit, it's a highlight around the individual bones. We never really got past that issue.
I see.
thought about this for a while, but when you're playing, I think the answer is still pretty bad, but how's readability for you when you're controlling a unit?
It's pretty mediocre. Yeah, like highlighting is pretty important.
Yeah, that's something we gotta figure out. I don't know. That's definitely a big polish item. Well, I guess it's less so in its importance now because like since we moved to 3D, like it was a much more prominent issue in 2.5D. It still exists in 3D, don't get me wrong. It is just less the case. But yeah, we need to have highlighting, and there is also we need to be more aggressive with I don't know what it's called. If you recall, I added those custom shaders to the trees, so when you zoom in, they disappear. There's more things in the map that needs to be like that, namely the kind of, I don't know, farm structures or whatever in the middle of the map. If somebody is behind them, you just cannot see that unit. Pretty bad. Are you not able to paint that as a texture directly?
I mean, it wouldn't be animated though. I want my animated moving lava.
But would it be animated? Why is that?
Because this is a...
When you paint a texture... it's just a texture. It doesn't have a material.
Well, no, it is material, yeah.
I mean, this is, yes. But I'm saying when you paint a texture on a terrain, is it just like a static image texture, or is it also a material? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, could you take one of the things that are being painted and apply some custom material?
Let's see what happens. Oh, so it's just a texture. Like, I don't know if you can make... Let me see here. What am I... Paint. Yeah, paint texture. Yeah, so these are terrain layers, and a terrain layer is different than a material.
I get it. Makes sense.
Yeah, terrain layer kind of seems to be like its own thing, whereas this is material.
I think I'm gonna hold off on doing the thingy with the stuff.
The thingy with the stuff. What does that mean?
The circle on the ground, moving it up and resizing it based on unit and all of that. I'll favor the highlighting, so I think we should try to do that. And if that doesn't work, then let's go with the circle and all that kind of stuff. But I think for readability, for just things looking best, having this UI or, you know, this texture or whatever floating in the sky, you know, versus having a highlighted griffin. I think the highlight will be much better visually.
Okay.
As an artist. That's my professional opinion.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what we haven't done for a while and we should do?
Party.
Yeah,
what?
Remake Gale and Valley.
Like
a few months.
yeah, we haven't remade Yellow and Valley in a while. Yeah, we should do that again.
I know, right? So remind me on the unit movement panel. What does that entail?
Could have swore I feel like I've created graphics for this like multiple times at this point. Is there not a task with an image associated with it?
I have a look.
Essentially, it's a panel that pops up with 5 buttons. That it'll pop up like above like the structures essentially.
Oh, I see. There is a task, but yeah, there isn't an image associated with it. So it says move, attack, move, hold, patrol, and dismiss.
Okay, I'm just gonna stream my screens for you real quick so that I can do this. UI, center panel, units, structures. The second you click on a unit, this little panel will pop up right here. Button, 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 or whatever. Move, attack, defend, or whatever. Patrol, dismiss. You have to press and hold this button to dismiss units, though. You can't. So that way you can't fat finger it.
Dismiss.
Dismiss is get rid of the unit, right? Because you don't have a way to force kill your own units right now, or sell them or whatever. So the dismiss button will dismiss units, and so that way you could also select a lot of units, and you could hold this button down and dismiss all of them at once. I think that it should be hold to press like again for like 2 seconds though, in order to dismiss a unit. So you don't select all army units and then hold this button down and then dismiss your entire army.
Yeah, that was suck. So what is hold then? So
you can click these buttons, but we'll also have key bindings for all of these buttons right here.
Sure. So hold is they're literally not gonna move at all.
Oh yeah, hold position. Yeah, they'll stay put. They will not chase at all. Obviously, it's very niche to use that for melee units, but for range units, it kind of makes sense.
That kind of sucks. Yeah, if you are a footman and you do that.
Exactly. This is a fairly traditional like RTS thing. Like it's in a lot of Blizzard RTSs. This whole position thing. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a situational tool. I never really used it all that much, like in Warcraft or whatever. But I could still see, especially in our game. Like imagine you want to put archers up on a ridge, but you don't want them to like start chasing enemies or whatever, you just select them and click hold position. Now you know that they will not move a muscle. And whereas patrol is they'll start moving back and forth between the 2 points that you selected. They'll also attack anything in between those 2 points as well, by the way. It's essentially like a looping attack move that loops between two separate locations. And ideally, if you can pull it off, the patrol, you'd also be able to shift click and do a patrol route. So you could do like 4 different points. And if you do it, it was really nice in StarCraft where essentially like if you can see my screen still, if I do a patrol move, you know, my character or whatever is standing right here, if I shift, right click, you know, or whatever, shift and then patrol move, let's say it's P. Okay, left click 1, left click 2, left click 3, left click 4, and then left click 5. I click on this like somewhere in this area again, right? So not only does it draw a line between these, but instead of it going like I move this way, then I move this way, then I move this way, then I move this way, and now I move, okay, I've reached the end of my route, right? So now I go back this way, and then I go back this way. I'm just doing the same thing in reverse, whatever. It's like if you close the loop, then they will just do the loop. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to
I get it.
Going, yeah. Whereas if you just do one simple point, you know, but if they're standing right here and you do control move and you just click this one point, all it's going to do is it's going to draw a line between these 2 points where he's standing and where you want him to go. And he's just going to go back and forth between these 2 points.
So the first point is always considered where you're at the moment? Is that the intended effect? How are you going to achieve the square if that's the case?
No, I don't think it's where you're always at. So
you need to click, in the case on the left, you need to click twice to achieve that, right?
Yes, I think it's if you do a shift, you're holding down shift and you start queuing these up, then the shift makes that first click the real starting point. Whereas if you just did P and then let's say P, right, is patrol move or whatever on that panel. So if you just hit P and then right click the ground somewhere, it's going to automatically determine that the point that you're standing at and that point over there, that's your 2 points. Whereas if you're holding shift P, that first right click that you do on the ground somewhere, that's the first point. It's disregarding the point that you're standing at right now.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but
that's a difference
would
between
it
P and
make
shifty.
sense to have it so if somebody clicks on one point, right, then it will assume that the first point that you're at is point number 1, but if they click, as soon as they click a second point, then we forget about the first point and we just consider those 2 and whatever else they add.
I'm confused by your wording.
Okay. I press P and then right click somewhere.
Yeah.
Then
boom.
It's going to be up those 2 points, right?
Yep.
But if I click P and then click a point and then I do another point, right? Then the first point, like the location where I was to begin with, gets removed as a point, and we only care about the 2 other points. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So this not even shift or anything like that. This is just the default behavior.
Well, no, wait, but like if you hit P and then right click the ground somewhere, it should go away. Like it doesn't stay. You don't have. You're not like you're stuck in that cursor mode. Think of it like when we are casting abilities, right? If I hit F and then I left click, I'm not in ability casting mode. Like I consume.
When you hold shift, you're saying wait, there's more. Don't dismiss just yet.
Exactly. Like shift is saying.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So you see this image, like the difference between, like, this is the shift.
Saying, but yeah. If I shift and click and then escape, or right click or whatever. No, well, you just
let go of shift and then it's gone.
Shift and click once and then let go of shift. I would still expect to go from the point where I was to that other point and go back and forth, right? Even though I only clicked once.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm not really sure what.
Yeah.
That
So
would
in
do
that
with
case,
StarCraft. Yeah.
I don't know about StarCraft, but you get the point of
Yeah.
why that. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
somebody
If
was
there's
holding
one
shift
click,
because they
then
were
yeah.
trading. Because I just want to shift is also used to move the camera like quick, so it's pretty
That's
simple
true.
to kind of mix between both. So I just want to make
could,
sure
yeah.
that if somebody doesn't do that,
Yep. That makes sense.
Okay. Let me add a comment to this task.
I'll say this. I'm slightly confused because we've had consistently the most viewers we've ever had tonight. We've had between 7 to 8 the whole time. Usually it's 4, which I can account for, myself being one of them, you being the other, maybe Brenton being one, and then maybe Lindley being one. So that's the 4 right there. But 7 though, there's other people in this room that they don't want to know who are. They don't want me to know who they are. So they haven't said anything in chat. But I know you're out there. And I know you think you have your privacy, but I'm watching you always.
If you don't believe what he's saying, watch Gamer Rage. You'll see. You'll see that you're not safe.
Yeah. Made very, very good progress on this tonight.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah, I got more Dune done, which had a lot going on in terms of elevation, levels, spires. There's a lot of information to capture in this region, but I think it is a great elevation pass, all good. And then we did crazy pass with converting our entire ocean into a terrain So now that can be painted, which has also allowed us to get our lava ocean in Orgath and sink Krageth into the floor, which is awesome. This is definitely, we're gonna get to the point where I'm gonna be able to like point out here on this map right here. I'm gonna be able to like, look there, that's like the exact location where the hatchling cinematic took place. I can be like, listen guys, it right over here on the map, you can see this is where Mongo's like lair was or something like that. Which by the way, I finished the art on that storyboard. I can't show any of it here because I want that to be a surprise, but yeah, pretty hyped about that. I'm gonna edit it together now, and then I'll share it with the other devs, like a video storyboard of it, and then obviously I'm gonna do the sound pass for COE, and then after the sound pass, I will begin the more official art production on that.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think when we have the actual map in the game, hopefully we have more cinematics and more things like that. It would be nice to, like, as you're flying around, you can kind of directly click on it and
to watch it cinematics. Like, oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, if there's a way to like trigger the hatchling cinematic like in the game somehow.
Yeah. To get these snippets of lore as you're flying around, you know.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Me too. I'm wrapping it up and to whoever you mysterious 7 people are, have yourselves a good night. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Yeah, keep happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you.